sometimes we tend to forget we are too focused on providing service to the community. But the providers also need certain care. And there's no that much literature yet, or at least an initial survey to test what is the policies, the programs, the practices, and the awareness of our humanitarian workers. When we speak about humanitarian workers, we're not only just limited to those who respond to disaster. Humanitarian workers are really developing workers who are responding to any other cases. It could be child protection, it could be focus on urban poor. But basically, most of the respondents here are really doing some disaster resiliency work. So Ramon Aboitiz Foundation and Central Visayas Network of NGO, funded by Humanitarian Leadership Academy, together with our partners, came up with a survey that was inspired by the START Network survey, and we would like to run it out in the entire Philippines. So geographically, there were around 48 as of the moment, because it's a running survey. So I don't know yet if how many are already in that. So we just had an analysis of how much those who responded. It's an online survey. We have around 48, so it's across the country. If you look at it, the percentage roughly around really more on Central Visayas, because we are the one popularizing the data. And we had a on-the-spot survey assessment in Bohol. It was a very interesting process also. There are more women who participated in the survey. The age group is varied, and the employment, most of who responded are actually what we call core position, or permanent position, and there are some who are project-based. Let's focus on the content and the substance of the survey. Almost half of the participants, or the respondents, 34%, mentioned that their employers do not have any pre-deployment training that they are aware of. Pre-deployment means how they can be prepared in going to the field. For them to be physically, mentally prepared, and even socially prepared. So far, 69% of the participants shared that their agency do not coordinate nor provide training for self-care or stress management. That is roughly almost 70%. We will not be informing you who are these institutions. It's part of the confidentiality. You might be asking, it's part of the confidentiality of the survey, so we just provide you the information. 56% of them experience really disaster response work. 46% of them admitted that in the emergency deployment, they have considered as very distressing and challenging. Maybe some of here can also provide their personal insights on it. I can also share my own on it. 45% shared that they experience witnessing death, grief, loss during emergency deployment. At least for most of them experience all these very stressful scenarios. There was also a question on the consequences of emergency response. So 38% of the respondents experience sought help online. So how the sought help is coping up, it's really based online. Online would mean self-reading. I mean, basa lang dyan kito sa mga akto ba, kung sa'yo makita mo. 50% sought for their peers. And then 85% who answered considered exposed to loss and suffering do not affect their well-being. So, in other words, what is important here in this data, there's a lot of questions there. There are around 60 questions. So we just present to you the highlight of the survey, and it's a running survey. What I presented to you now in the briefer is basically the most important information. There's a limitation yet in the analysis because we did not compare yet how big or how small the organization is, because that also matters. We did not also put the gender analysis on it yet, and we did not also put the geographic analysis on it yet. So, but hopefully, Chris here will inform to you our major activity also next month. We can now present a more comprehensive and a more conclusive. And hopefully also, that would mean that there will be more respondents responding to the online question. So, if there are certain things you will ask also the survey, you can ask that later on. But